Hello, it is Saturday, January 18th, 2025. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Saturday crossword today, which means we're going to be solving a big, unthemed, big themeless crossword, and it could well be the trickiest crossword of the week. That's often what happens on Saturday. And this potentially tricky edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Spriggs, Aaron Spiller, and, as always, the indomitable Shoalmaster and the indefinable Charlie Paget. Thank you so much to the four of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous support. They do, of course, sustain this channel, keep it going day by day, and for that, I'm very grateful. Thanks to those four. Thanks to everybody who supports the channel via Patreon. It really does help out, keep this thing going. If you'd like to support the channel in that way, you can head to patreon.com/dailysolve or click the description field link where you'll find the bonus videos available to patrons. That includes, as of yesterday, this week's mini puzzle pseudo speed solve. So you can see the last week of mini puzzles, mini New York Times mini crosswords solved quickly. And, well, as quickly as I can manage it while reading the answers. And yeah, there's also, of course, the official mug for those benefactors, such as those I mentioned. Thanks again to everybody who supports the channel in that way. And thanks if you subscribe on YouTube, which is also quite a big help. There's the also Daily Solve Discord chat server you can join, a nice friendly chat community linked in the description field. All right, let's get on to today's crossword by Scott McMahon, whose debut puzzle this is for the New York Times, so welcome to Scott. It is a themeless crossword, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. Let's start solving. Oh, wow. Wow, this is a very, very open grid. Okay. Right, so look at all these incredibly long. We have, 9 grid-spanning answers here? 3 pairs of 3? All right, well, let's get going. Famous palindrome starter. What are some of these? There's a man, a plan, a canal, Panama. I'm trying to think of ones that are long enough to get in here. That does fit. That does fit. I don't know if that's right, obviously, but let's check the crosses. City that's the heart of Africa's art scene, per National Geographic. Accra would fit. I don't actually know if that is the heart of Africa's art scene. That's a really interesting clue. Lead into day, way, or more. Any day, any way, or any more. That's right. Capital and second largest city of Menorca. Oh, I actually don't know this. I don't know the answer to that. Oh, that's frustrating. Range could be. Oh, an array. You've got a whole range of possibilities for the answer to these clues. A whole array. How to turn down a hamburger. Why is hamburger capitalized? What does that mean? How to turn down a hamburger? Oh, I see. Sorry. It's someone from Hamburg. It's not a hamburger, the food. It's literally a person from Hamburg, Germany. So you turn them down by saying no, or in German, nein. There we go. That's a good clue. They share keys with twos. A, B, C? Yeah, I think it's referring to the distribution of the letters of the alphabet on a touch-tone keypad on a telephone. So A, B, C are on 2 because 1, that's right, isn't it? 1 doesn't have any letters, and then 2 starts A, B, C, and then it continues. I think that's right. I hope I'm interpreting that correctly. Nursery purchase. I don't know. I mean, it could be a child's nursery, or it could be a plant nursery, like a garden center. Could be like a pot, like a plant pot. I don't know. I know that doesn't look right with the B. Is there more? Care. Well, could it be something like care to elaborate or something? Because then the O for pot could work here. What about this? It can be infectious after Thanksgiving. Oh, maybe Christmas spirit. Okay, I think ABC is wrong. I was wrong about that. Okay, well, let's try this. Yeah, that does fit. So then what about this? Is there more? Care to elaborate? That does fit as well. Wow, okay, this is honestly going better than I expected it to. I thought I was pretty worried about this grid once I revealed it. They share keys with twos. Ats. Ah, of course. It's the at sign on a computer keyboard. Nothing to do with what I was thinking. Nursery purchase is a pot, so that was right at least. I can handle this. Let me do it, or let me, sort of contracted. Blank Leroy Locke, father of the Harlem Renaissance. Here's another thing I sort of feel I should probably know. Is it Alain? Let's see. Female rapper with the 2008 hit Paper Planes. Oh, right. I remember when that song was huge. That's MIA. I do actually remember that. Okay, organization with a climate research program, NASA. That makes sense. Okay, it preceded Calibri as Microsoft's default font. Arial, right? Okay. Yes, so included bundled Windows fonts. Kilo Finder. Oh, I see. Like a kilo of narcotics, of hard drugs, cocaine or something. So it's a narcotics officer. And then cop is oh, I see. So cop is highlighting narc as an example of a cop. So there we go. All right, plugging away. If you're plugging away, like I am with this crossword, you're at it. And then some do-overs are lets, like in tennis, presumably. That's what that's referring to. If one makes a move, one acts. And then what about this? Coloring sometimes confused with done, right? So I think these are horse coat terms, horse colorings. So done, roan, these are both kind of earth tone sort of things. And then, okay, man, Mahon? Boy, I'm not actually sure how to pronounce this. I apologize. But that's the capital and second largest city of Menorca. Boy, that was just completely outside of my knowledge. That's unfortunate. Okay, so this does look like Alain Leroy Locke, doesn't it? Love interest of Peter in the Spider-Man universe. Not Mary Jane, obviously. Who's the other one? Gwen? Somebody? Gwen Stacy? I'm pretty sure that's right, actually. Love interest of Peter in the Spider-Man universe. I think that is correct. Chest beating sort. A gorilla. Yep, there we go. Kate, who won an Academy Award for The Reader. Kate Winslet, probably. I haven't actually seen that. Have I? I don't know. I can't remember. I don't think I have. But I'm sure that's who it is. Fish with a shy-sounding name. A koi. Right, okay. I got the answer before I understood it. So koi as in being a bit reserved. Okay, withholding is maybe better than reserved. Informal preposition. Till, yeah, an abbreviation of a sort of contraction, more accurately, of until. So it's a bit of an informal way to say it. On the right radio frequency. If you're tuned in, you're on the right frequency. And a cry after a close shave. I made it, maybe, or something like that. It's the word. Mum's the word, as they say. So mum's the word, be quiet. Okay. So cry after a close shave. Oh no, this doesn't look good, does it? Informal hookups. That doesn't look right. Okay, maybe this isn't this. What could this be? Cry after a close shave. I'm safe. It could be I'm, or it could be I something. I don't know which. Okay, blank cat. Snow Cat, I think, is a brand of, I think they make snowmobiles and things like that. Let's see if that's right. Dark Lord of the Blank, Star Wars title. Dark Lord of the Sith. Darth Vader is that. I think Darth Vader's that anyway. Maybe it's the Emperor who's that. I think they're both that. Anyway, Snow Cat, and then pay attention to is to note something. Stack of Monopoly bills. Ones, or why Monopoly in particular? 1 of 12 for Katharine Hepburn. Oh, probably Oscar nominations. Great actor. There we go. So 1 of 12, sorry. So Oscar nominations, singular, because we're only referring to any one of them. Okay, so the stack of Monopoly bills, I guess it is ones. I don't know why that's necessarily, what difference the word Monopoly makes to this clue. But I think it must be the answer. Dish that's different from its cousins by the inclusion of potatoes. Oh, a Spanish omelet. Right. It's different to its. So I think, do they mean basically a tortilla or like a Spanish tortilla, which is, basically egg and potatoes, and that's different from its cousins, like a Mexican tortilla, which doesn't have potatoes? Or maybe there is a specific Spanish omelet. I guess there must be. I've heard that phrase before, so it must be that. When I answered the clue, I was thinking of a tortilla, but maybe that's not actually what it's referring to. Anyway, I'm sure that's the answer. This is definitely a thing, so I suspect it's correct. Scapula o femore. Oh, those are bones. So bone, I mean, os is the root of the root word meaning bone from Latin. So osso is a bone in Italian. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Like osso buco, the kind of veal dish with the bone. Okay. Catchers of waves are catchers of waves. Does it mean sound waves? Probably. Something dishes. Oh, yeah, maybe like radio waves, satellite dishes. That's what it is. That's what it is. Okay. Satellite dishes. So catching waves being beamed down from space, from orbit. All right, there we go. So go a couple of rounds would be to box with someone, to spar with them. Blank Tiernan, author of the Immortal Beloved trilogy. I don't know this. Is that a reference to the famous Beethoven letters sent by Beethoven to his immortal beloved? Is that maybe a sort of historical fiction based on that? I'm not familiar with this, but Kate Tiernan. Vein output, or so a vein like silver vein or something, gold vein or something like that. Okay, constellation with the star Regulus. I don't know actually. Largest tributary of the Mississippi. So the Ohio River, I suppose, must be the largest tributary of the Mississippi River. So there we go. So Leo is the constellation. I probably should have thought of that, but I didn't. Informal hookups. Oh, right. I don't know. What is this? Inns? Like an inn is a kind of, if you have a hookup for a job. I don't think that's what it means in this context. Let's see. Novelist Gerritsen. Tess, I guess. I don't know what other name would fit here. And we do want this to be plural, so I think that's right. Cry after a close shave. Boy, this doesn't look very helpful. I'm a cry after a close shave. What on earth? I just can't see what this is. I'm alien. That's obviously not right. Spanish omelet, Oscar nomination, mums the word. Yeah, these all look fine. Why do I not see what this is? What about this? Reasonable, sane. Maybe it's a sane suggestion. It's a reasonable suggestion. Oh, I'm alive. Oh, okay, right. they're literally hookups to your arm. They're intravenous devices, and it's informal because we've abbreviated it. That's what it is. Okay. Finally got there. Half a candy bar. Oh, cat, like Kit Kat, I think would be the case. And I guess there's a question mark indicating kind of a bit of a pun here, because I suppose because we're using a brand name and we're saying half of the bar, but really we mean half of the bar's name. So I think that's why the pun question mark indicator is there. All right. Showed respect or submission in a way. You knelt before somebody to show them those things. Avian symbol of good fortune in Celtic culture. Is it in 4 letters? Avian symbol. It's a bird. Is it a wren? Blank learning. Rote learning. You'd sort of learn by just straight memorization. Some traveler's concern in brief. If this is an E. Some traveler's concerns in brief. I don't actually know what that is. But I think this is probably a wren, which is certainly a very common bird on these islands where you might find Celtic culture. Okay, so slightest amount would be, well, I was going to say not one whit, not the slightest amount, but it could be wisp as well. Just a little wisp of air could be the slightest amount of it. Although, actually, I-O doesn't seem a very likely starting combination to this clue. Let's see. Hit 1976 album whose title track won the Grammy for Record of the Year. Okay, I don't actually know what that is. So let's see. I don't think it's wisp if this is O. So what was my other guess? Wit. This starts with an H. Home something, maybe? I don't know. Some traveler's concerns in brief. Probably ends with an S. I can say that at least. Sent out feelers, so to speak. Tested the waters or something? Tested. Yeah, that fits. That could be it. Oh, and that works with wit. Yes. So that looks good. Yogi Berra or Joe DiMaggio, e.g. Those were Italian Americans, right? Okay. I was going to start trying to think of baseball related things because they were both famous baseball players, but also they were Italian American. And again, it says Yogi Berra or Joe DiMaggio, so we're only referring to either one of them. So it's a singular answer, not plural. Okay, so what's this then? Some traveler's concerns in brief. Oh, ETAs, estimated times of arrival. Yes, a traveler would want to know when their flight's going to arrive. Okay. Hit night. Oh, is this Hotel California? So the album, I guess, from which the title track was drawn by the Eagles. Okay, so there we go. So we've actually answered a few clues just now. Golfer's concern would be the lie of the ball, where it ended up after the stroke. And then scoundrel would be a cad, really a ruffian. Handful is a few. Ora pro nobis. What does this actually mean? How do I not know what this means? That's slightly embarrassing, given I've definitely encountered it plenty of times before. Gold. Something to do with gold and nobility. Person partial to humor. Person partial to humor. What does that mean? Question mark. Crit? No. A Brit. Oh, I see. It's a Brit. It's a Brit because here in Britain, here in the UK, you'd spell humor with that O-U, I should say, rather than just the O, as in American English. So that's the answer. Okay. Uncover, to bear your soul, to uncover your soul, for instance. Long weapon is a lance, medieval weapon. Whoops. Pipe material could be briar? No, friar? What is this? Pipe material. Why do I not see what that is? I don't. Initials for a 20th century president and his wife, LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson and Lady Bird Johnson. So there we go. It's a tough recommendation because these are thousands of pages worth of reading, but the biographies of Lyndon Baines Johnson by Robert Caro are honestly some of the best things I've ever read. The Power Broker, which is his biography of Robert Moses, who is a major sort of city and park planner in New York, is only a single book and is also one of the best things I've ever read. Anyway, pipe material, briar. What is that? Is that pipe like meaning brush in some way? I don't actually know what this, or are there sort of traditional pipes made out of briar? I don't know. That's unfortunate that I don't know what that means, but I think it's the answer. Jimmy Carter was the first president regularly seen in jeans. Oh, there we go. He was a peanut farmer, famously, after all. Okay, Netflix category, anime, I guess, is going to be the answer. And throne is I don't know. Arabic for prayer, salah. Throne. How do I not see what this is? Throne. What's a word for a throne that starts this way, or ends this way, I should say? Lingo. Okay, cant. So lingo is, like vernacular. Like cant, you often hear people in, I guess, sort of fantasy settings or historical fiction refer to thieves' cant, kind of thieves' lingo. and then thrown. Oh, can, like a toilet. Okay, that was straightforward. Just slang term for a toilet. Okay, so the salah is right. So I think that's as in sort of salam alaikum, the kind of traditional um, greeting and kind of blessing. So that was right. Good. Okay, so that was the Saturday puzzle. Honestly, not as bad as I expected it to be when I saw these, but as is often the case, it can look very intimidating, but frequently these phrases are actually helpful, because look how many crosses we got from entering just a single one. I mean, it really, I suppose the difficulty comes in that, do you happen to, how much does this particular palindrome happen to be in your head? And if it doesn't, then it wouldn't be very helpful, because it doesn't even, the bit that's in the crossword doesn't even create a palindrome. So you'd have to just know the phrase separately. But that was the one. And getting that right at the beginning really was the thing that set me off on the puzzle. That was incredibly helpful. And then look at that. Actually, look how little communication there is between the three sort of strata of the grid. There's just these little connectors in here. Other than that, other than in each case, these two little apertures here, there's just nothing. So you really do sort of have to solve each of these three segments almost in isolation. I guess each of these leads to these 7-letter answers. So it's not nothing, but it's not a lot. It's not a lot of interplay. But there we go. That was the Saturday crossword. Let me know how you fared with this. And I'd be very curious to hear if people found this a challenging puzzle or not. It feels like there could have been quite a range of challenge level, just depending on how, honestly, how much these phrases sprung to mind. So there we go. That was the Saturday crossword. A good debut, I thought. And I'll be back tomorrow with the larger but gentler Sunday crossword. So join me for that. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Saturday. Take care.